roles that they appeal to more than anything else. This chick is actually sounding like a feminist, to be honest with you.
Oppressed. Men want equality, and it shows everywhere. The feminists are just refusing to see it, and then other people who are claiming to speak for men's rights are just speaking about the exact opposite. Men's rights is about
About 7 minutes. We'll get started about 7 minutes, right on time. Nice, because I didn't have to make like a shit ton of skits for this, right? The Fembots are mad. They get super pissed at Pearl. They lose their minds and then they post pics of themselves at 35. See our big fat fucking friend Resident Sleeper sitting in the chat right now with no membership. No membership. It's a terrible day when Resident Sleeper doesn't have a membership to the Crucible. T minus 4 minutes. Where we will begin to make fun of feminists, MGTOW, and everybody else in between. Boom, 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 nuke this city. No clue what just happened. No idea. No clue. I have no... I don't know. I played it, and the shit didn't fucking work. Whatever. Whatever, it didn't fucking work. Didn't fucking work. Anyway. It's because I hit the wrong fucking button. Right? I hit the wrong button. Yeah, it's Eibel's fault. It's the fucking bot's fault. Don't get mad at me. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Now we're going to dive right into this, right? Defensive pearly things. Here's why I'm doing this. So I don't orbit anybody. Crucible's never orbited anybody. We're not going to start now. But, like this EOD96 pro streamer. Oh, did he make a mistake? Oh, well, here's the mistake I didn't make. You're timed out for 5 minutes. That's not a mistake. Welcome to the Crucible. I hope you enjoy your time here, prick. Hope you fucking enjoy your time, prick. Anyway. So there's three kinds of people essentially on the right wing. You have, I guess you can consider some Republicans to be right wing, but mostly they're not. They're mostly more center right. So you have your alt-righters, your dissident righters, and then you have the subversive right. The subversive right is necessary. They get ahead of left-wing messaging and try to control the conversation. You see more and more of that happening, and we need more and more of that to happen. We need more and more subversive right-wingers to be going in front of liberal talking points, getting ahead of the messaging, and that's what Pearl is doing. Essentially, she's creating a shockwave in the system. It's creating huge amounts of problems for people. And even these people who have traditionally defended men's rights and things like this inside of these different communities are seriously pissed off at her, especially about this repeal the 19th, which she's really been driving home. Okay, she's really been driving home the repeal the 19th. So we're going to start with a few and work our way up to some of the larger creators shitting on her. But this this one here is from the Roma Army. Now, I've seen some of this chick stuff, and she does pretty good work, right? But she seems very miffed off, very miffed at poor Pearl. What is she mad about? She's mad that Pearl wants to take away women's rights to vote, their right to vote. This is what her big issue seems to be. Let's check it out, shall we?
It's super rare that I just prop my phone up on this channel and just go on a rant. But as you can see, I'm in my kitchen. I'm not in my office. I can't stop thinking about this video that I'm going to be doing and posting tonight. It's on Just Pearly Things, Pearl Davis.
And we'll get to that video too.
She went on Piers Morgan and talked about how she doesn't think that women should have the right to vote.
Fucking awesome. Finally, a subversive right-winger who's getting ahead of the messaging. As the message of the red pill is beginning to gain in traction, and the reason it is because of the fucked up dynamic and relationship status due to the lack of Christianity in this nation between men and women, Pearl is getting ahead. For once, the right wing is getting ahead of the left-wing messaging, and the left is having to react to us. Right? But this chick seems to be very upset by this. Seems to be not so very pleased about this.
And, I reached out to her like before Christmas on Instagram and was like, hey, I don't agree with all of your views, but at that time I thought that we were in the same corner, championing for men. However the fuck you say that. Anyways, I'm dealing with a lot of anxiety right now.
Oh, my anxiety. My anxiety is level 10. I'm dealing with a lot, okay? Whew, gotta keep it under control. Got to try to keep this under control. Okay? Have to.
I never got a response from her, and then after Christmas, a mutual friend agreed to reach out to her, and a couple months after that, I was on her YouTube and she was live, and I made a donation of about like $300.
Oof. Now I see what she's upset about. Now I understand what she's so upset about. She's upset because she sent in a donation for $300, right? That's what she's upset about. The chick that we're watching right now, her name is Roma Army. You can check her channel out. She does do some good work when it comes to the, some right-wing talking points, but she seems to be very wrong on this point. She seems to be very upset with Pearl, and I think she's upset because she sent in a $300 super chat, which was ignored. So now we're moving it from the super chat to hater pipeline.
And not one single person noticed me in the chat. She didn't notice me, the chat didn't notice me, and so I looked it up and I'm like, what does that mean?
Let's back it up.
One single person noticed me in the
Not one single person noticed her.
YouTube, and she was live, and I made a donation of about like $300, and not one single person noticed me in the chat. She didn't notice me, the chat didn't notice me, and so I looked it up and I'm like, what does that mean?
Well, it doesn't mean anything. It's just like, well, I looked it up. What could this possibly mean? What could this possibly mean? I'm going to like Google it, right? Google it up. What could it mean that I sent in $300 and nobody even noticed me? Well, it might not mean anything. It might not be as big of a deal as you think. It might be that they just didn't fucking care about what you had to say. Maybe she's not blocked. Maybe there is no shadow ban. Maybe they just didn't fucking care. What about that? Did anybody ever think about the fact that maybe just nobody gave a shit?
It means that the person blocked you. So she blocked me long before.
Well, how do they block you, but you're still able to send a $300 super chat? Does anybody explain to me how you can be blocked on a YouTube channel but still send in a $300 super chat? I'll play the Jeopardy music if somebody has an explanation. Anybody? Does anybody have an explanation for how this is possible, that you could be blocked from a YouTube channel but still send in a $300 super chat? Mall ears. Anyone? I didn't fucking think so.
Before we even had any contact. And now it makes sense.
Well, I don't know how she could be blocked. I don't get it. How could she be blocked and send in a $300 super chat? I don't fucking get it.
Because this woman isn't just like a conservative. She's an absolute fucking misogynist, okay?
Yes! She is. That's true. That's true. She is. At least by, whatever the leftist standard of misogyny is. I'd have to kind of put Pearl in that camp, and I'm okay with that. I must admit. I'm fine with that. I really am. I just don't have anything bad to say about that.
Okay? Most conservatives don't think that their wives and their mothers and their sisters and their daughters just like shouldn't have the right to vote. Okay?
They do think that, lady. This is the problem. This is the problem, is that they actually do think that their wives and their mothers and their daughters probably shouldn't have the right to vote. They actually do think that. See, that's where Roma seems to be getting messed up here, is that, yes, conservatives seem to want to kind of push back just a little bit on the whole, oh, look, women who have the right to vote seem to be voting overwhelmingly for things like security and limiting guns and all kinds of shit that really pisses off men. So I think they really are kind of fine with the whole repealing the 19th thing at this point. I don't know where this chick gets this idea, right? She should do a rights debate. Tell Roma Army, do a rights debate with me. And if she walks away still thinking that the 19th Amendment should be there, I'd like to hear it.
Okay, I don't know. Actually, I do know where she gets off. What she's doing is like chameleoning into this idea that like conservative men have, which is that women should stay in the home. And there's nothing wrong with that.
I thought she just said, so she just said 2 seconds before that conservative men don't want this. Now she's moving on to say conservative men do want this.
Ideology, because what liberal feminists seem to just forget is that as much as those men want their women in the home, those men are going to be working for the rest of their lives to provide for that home, for her, for the kids. So like there's a mutual symbiotic relationship going on there, and left liberal women always forget that. But see, what Pearl's doing is Pearl isn't really listening to men. She's taking that conservative ideology.
When's the last time this chick took a shower, by the way? Like, I'm not trying to bash her, but she just looks like she needs a shower to me, that's all.
And thinking, oh, well, this must be what men want. They want women with no rights. And the reason why this...
No, it's not no rights. It's not no rights. It's the right to vote. That's not the same as, like, basic human rights, whatever you might consider those to be. It's a whole different ballgame.
Fucking pisses me off so much is because... Yeah. Feminists
makes me so mad. I'm so upset by this.
And people who are on the blogs and authors and writers, whatever the fuck, in magazines, they're always writing about the men's rights movement as like these misogynistic incels. And when we have people like fucking Pearl come into the light and say that women shouldn't have the right to vote, like...
Then we should support that. We should support a patriarchal system inside of the United States and move more towards going towards one, at least limiting the right to vote to people. Maybe don't take everybody's right to vote away, but at least let's start moving towards some sort of limited democracy. Because this just allowing every moron on planet Earth to vote based on them wanting to raid the treasury is fucking absurd and stupid.
Oh, it's so frustrating. I am going to tag in the description a video that I did, literally going through like her worst tweets and like why I dislike her. it's really funny to me that
So she's going to cherry pick shit. She's going to cherry pick the most provocative tweets.
I recorded that video and posted it.
She is a fucking mess. This chick is just spurging bad.
Like a few weeks before this even happened, because this just solidifies my opinion. And the thing that pisses me off about the internet is whenever, especially
Mad at the internet. Should do a whole series called Mad at the Internet. She's upset. What makes me mad about the internet?
women, like as women, we get pinned up against each other quite a lot, right? Who's better, blah, blah, blah. And so if
Oh, wow. Welcome to how men operate 24/7, 7 days a week. Welcome to a man's world. Gee, men have to compete against each other 24/7, 7 days a week. Isn't that fucking amazing? I can't believe that you're in a competitive arena, which is making online content, and you're upset that you have competition in that. Well, that's how that works. That's how it works. It's competitive.
I voice an opinion about like Pearl, then people will be like, oh, I don't fuck with you, I'm unsubscribing. Or they think that if I don't fuck with Pearl, that means that I want you guys then to just not fuck with Pearl. And
yeah, that's right. If you go online and you start talking shit about another creator and people in your audience support that other creator, they might unsubscribe for you or to you. Can you guys believe it? Can you imagine that if you went to one of your favorite creators' shows and they were shitting on another creator that you liked, you might unsubscribe from them? It's almost like this is a massive political landscape, and you have to be very cautious about who you ally yourself with. Also, you have to be very cautious about what you say, have to be very cautious about the different arenas that you integrate with. Isn't that fucking amazing? Of course, the man's mind is uniquely equipped to deal with this.
I just think that that's so fucking bitchy and so immature. So like, it used to bother me, the fact that people, I would have an opinion about somebody and my followers would be like, oh, well now I don't fuck with you. It doesn't really bother me anymore. Because if you can't accept the fact that like people can have a difference in opinion, then like, that's literally on you.
Yeah.
One moment.
Yeah, totally.
I'm like, Dylan.
Things is too much. That's what I love, too. I love the fact that Pearl is literally leading these women to the point of mental breakdowns live, constantly. They're just constantly on the threshold of having mental breakdowns because Pearl says maybe we should reevaluate women's right to vote. Just, I can't, it's my anxiety.
Men's rights advocates like myself, like the Tin Men, like Matt, we work really, really, really fucking hard. Sorry, I had to pause it for a sec. I really thought I was gonna piss myself. Anyway.
What?
Fucking hard. Sorry, I had to pause it for a sec. I really thought I was gonna piss myself.
Why would you support Pearl, Andrew? She's so mean to women. Because watching the mental breakdowns, just watching the threshold of mental breakdowns for me, for these women, is just fucking wonderful. Just want to see a bunch of these chicks. They got in with like the MGTOW movements, and they got in with these different like manosphere movements. You know what I mean? And so they feel like they're like the ultimate gatekeeper. They feel like, well, I was here first, telling people that men should have, at least equal rights to women. But now we've surpassed that, right? From feminism into meninism. So now we're on the meninism, right? And meninism is no rights. We've moved past the just men wanting to be equal with women. Fuck that. Fuck that. We got to move the conversation 5 steps ahead of that. And then maybe that's where we'll actually land. The fuck is this buffering? The fuck is going on here? Hang on. I don't know what the fuck just happened. the fuck is going on? Why the hell is this stupid thing buffering all of a sudden? It was fine, and now it's not fine. All this high-speed internet, and this is what happens. 1 second, I'll fix this shit. Yeah, no shit. I deserve to get canned for this one. Well, maybe. Maybe I deserve to get canned for it. Could just be that YouTube sucks today. I don't know. Fucking play video. What the fuck? The fucking alert didn't work right? What the hell is going on here? We'll find out. There we go. Router just had to be reset. I think. I think the router just had to be reset. Nope, still not working. What in the fucking world is going on? Do other videos work? Nothing's working. Like, just nothing's working on the YouTube Premium? For real? Yeah, I don't know what the hell is going on. It's the weirdest shit ever. Everything was fine, and then suddenly, it's not fine anymore. Did she pee on his router? It's a, like, really strange time to have technical difficulties. Yeah, I'm just going to reset it. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Weird. She reported you. No, I don't think she reported me. You are experiencing technical difficulties. Just fucking work. Still not working. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to reboot the PC. I've never had this happen before, but the whole thing just like the entire internet just crashed. But somehow I'm still live. I don't get it. That's a first. You know, I was on a roll. I was making fun of this tatted up chick who was gonna wet herself, and then suddenly nothing's working. It's bizarre. Yeah, I don't know. Hang on, I'm gonna I'll be right back real quick, I guess. I'm gonna have to reboot the PC and see if that fixes the problem. I have no idea what the fuck is going on. Super weird. Guys should be able to hear me now. Should be able to hear me all right. Hopefully. No, I'm not still muted. Should be good. All right, I think we can resume the broadcast here. I don't know what the fuck happened. I have no idea. That was beyond weird. Just everything on the PC went haywire at the same time, but whatever. We're good. Let's keep going.
Oh, actually, I do know where she gets off. What she's doing is like chameleoning into this idea that like conservative men have, which is that women should stay in the home. And there's nothing wrong with that ideology, because what liberal feminists seem to just forget is that as much as those men want their women in the home, those men are going to be working for the rest of their lives to provide for that home, for her, for the kids. So like, there's a mutual symbiotic relationship going on there, and left liberal women always forget that. But see, what Pearl's doing is Pearl isn't really listening to men. She's taking that conservative ideology and thinking, oh, well, this must be what men want. They want women with no rights. And the reason why this fucking pisses me off so much is because feminists and people who are on the blogs and authors and writers, whatever the fuck, in magazines, they're always writing about the men's rights movement as like these misogynistic incels. And when we have people...
There are a lot of them who are misogynistic incels. There are. There's also a lot who aren't. In this particular case, what's going on with Pearl is pretty simple. She's a provocateur. She's getting ahead of the conversation. This chick is freaking the fuck out because she's a gatekeeper. She's a gatekeeper to that movement. She's been around it for a long time. She doesn't like the fact that she sent in $300 and it was ignored. Comes up with this wild excuse that she was blocked. By the way, how do you know? I still can't figure out how she could have gotten blocked and sent in a $300 super chat. That's bizarre to me. I don't get that.
People like fucking Pearl come into the light and say that women shouldn't have the right to vote. Like... oh, it's so frustrating. I am going to tag in the description a video a few weeks before this even happened, because this just...
Did I ignore your membership? Did I? I don't know. Something went haywire with the stupid alerts too. I don't know what the fuck happened. The whole stream just went fucking nutso. See, look, now the Eibel bot is back.
Solidifies my opinion. And the thing that...
By the way, welcome our Albanian friend to the Crucible Commander, the highest tier of membership here at the Crucible.
Pisses me off about the internet is whenever, especially women, like as women, we get pinned up against each other quite a lot, right? Who's better, blah, blah, blah. And so if I voice an opinion about like Pearl, then people will be like, oh, I don't fuck with you, I'm unsubscribing. Or they think that if I don't fuck with Pearl, that means that I want you guys then to just not fuck with Pearl.
Chick is such a fucking whiner.
I just think that that's so fucking bitchy and so immature. So like, it used to bother...
Just fucking whining. This whole thing is just a giant whine-ass complain session.
Me, the fact that people, I would have an opinion about somebody and my followers would be like, oh, well, now I don't fuck with you. It doesn't really bother me anymore, because if you can't accept the fact that like people can have a difference in opinion, then like that's literally on you. One moment. I'm like dealing with so much anxiety, so I'm like vibrating, I got dry mouth. Men's rights advocates like myself, like the Tin Men, like Matt, we work really, really, really fucking hard. Sorry, I had to pause it for a sec. I really thought I was gonna piss myself. Anyways, people like the Tin Men, the Healthy Feminist, or Healthy Feminism, I think is her name on Instagram. I'll link all of these people below. Matt, myself, like, we work damn fucking hard to not just talk about men's rights of a level of like, just the bare minimum, but we go into like statistics, why what these people are saying is harmful, what's the outcome.
Pearl also goes into statistics. Pearl also goes into the outcomes. She does both of those fucking things, right? Pearl does both of those things. I don't know what she's talking about. She's just on a histrionic rant. Totally. This is totally histrionics, man. Or histrionics, whatever, however you pronounce it, right? I don't say that word. We'll just call it. This broad's being fucking hysterical. By the way, I changed around all the super chat vids too. Hopefully they'll work. It looks like the lazy ass Eibel bot finally showed up, so.
And we don't do it with this like fuck women vibe. You know, I can come off a little like aggressive and a little out there, and I get that. So I understand why people perceive that I think that men can do no wrong. But I work really hard to show, you know, the both side of things. And
I work so hard. I've worked so hard. Pearl came in, and she's destroying everything. She says that women can't even vote. She says that women can't vote. I'm having a lot of anxiety.
I don't think that men are perfect. They're not perfect. There's a lot of really scummy men in the world, just like there's a lot of really scummy women. So when people like Pearl come in and say stupid shit like that, it just makes it so much harder for the rest of us, because everybody else is going to label the men's rights movement and attach that image to people like her, to people like Andrew Tate. And honestly, it's so fucking...
Yeah, Andrew Tate's got some serious issues. The most pointed one is that he's a fucking Muslim. That's the biggest issue that Tate has.
Frustrating, because men's rights matter so much. Like, okay, Pearl, you think that women shouldn't have
DXY says, I take this creature over Pearly. You're welcome to it, bro.
have the right to vote. You want to put women in these extreme gender boxes, but yet you say you advocate for fathers? How can that be when, if we're going back to a traditional time where women didn't even have the right to vote, well, men didn't have equal access to their children. They
What? What? Oh, that made no sense. What the fuck?
back to a traditional time where women didn't even have the right to vote. Well, men didn't have equal access to their children. They
How does that follow? What? If we go back to a time where women didn't have the right to vote, that men didn't have equal access to their children. What in the world is this chick talking about? Can somebody explain what the fuck she's talking about? That makes zero sense. That makes no sense at all. If we're going back to when women didn't have the right to vote, then we're going back to when men didn't have equal access to their children. What? What the? These are the... I'm telling you, Pearl deserves better enemies, okay? Deserves better enemies, because that was by far the dumbest thing I've heard in this video so far with this ranting and raving lunatic.
They still don't, but we're breaking out of the societal ideology that men are just the providers. Men are saying, I want equal time with my children. So, like, you're also going back to a time...
Yeah, that came from no-fault divorce, though. That didn't come back. That had nothing to do with the 19th Amendment and women's rights to vote. That's just, what is she talking about? Is that something as fucking stupid as that?
I'm not even the biggest fan of Piers Morgan, okay, for like my own reasons, but like, it takes a special kind of somebody to go on his show and
win. It takes a special kind of somebody to correlate with other conservatives who are subversives when it comes to left-wing movements and left-wing talking points and left-wing messaging. So Pearl gets together with them, right, like Rachel and others, gets the talking points down pat, learns how to argue them, goes on and completely eradicates a stupid feminist and gets Piers Morgan in her corner, and this chick's upset. This chick's mad. She's madsies.
Like, make him not look like the bad guy for once. You know what I mean? So, like, at the end of the day, I know that my community does not agree with such a disgusting blanket statement such as, like, women shouldn't have the right to vote.
I think you would be surprised at how many people in your community think that women and the 19th Amendment has been disastrous, and the consequences of it have been disastrous for the United States. I think that many in your community would agree that that statement is true.
Because equality means accepting equal responsibility. Men don't want to, fuck you, to women, go back to being a...
No, but listen, that's the whole problem, is that conservatives aren't really claiming that women should have equal responsibility. They don't believe. They believe in a hierarchical structure. They think that women's responsibilities are women's responsibilities, that there's certain sex roles which women inhabitate due to their biology that they can't escape, and those are the roles that we want to see them in. We think that they're the happiest in those roles. We think that they thrive the best in those roles. We think that those are the roles that they appeal to more than anything else. This chick is actually sounding like a feminist, to be honest with you.
Oppressed. Men want equality, and it shows everywhere. The feminists are just refusing to see it, and then other people who are claiming to speak for men's rights are just speaking about the exact opposite. Men's rights is about saying to men, look,
You want me to turn my mic up? I can do that. I can turn the fucking mic up. There, that should be better. Should be better.
It doesn't matter if you want to be hyper-masculine. It doesn't matter if you're gay. It doesn't matter who you are, what you like, how you talk. It doesn't give anybody a right to look at you and be like, does that make you a real man? Like, it's about allowing men to...
No way. Is that true? This chick has an OnlyFans? Just men's rights advocate has an OnlyFans? Of course she has it. Why wouldn't she? Why wouldn't she? Why wouldn't she have an OnlyFans? Boy, that's really helping men out. That's really pushing men across the finish line, isn't it? Unfucking believable. That's really helping her out. Helping us all out with the OnlyFans.
Step out of a gender box, okay? So if we're gonna tell women to get back in their gender box, then how the fuck can we sit here and advocate for men to not be looked at as
ZXV, that's 5 minutes out for simping. No fucking simps in the chat, bro.
just dicks, piggy banks, providers, disciplinarians? Like, it is so frustrating. Anyways, I am going to get prepared to make this video, so maybe I'll just like take a shower first, calm down.
You can take a shower, take a Xanax. Take a shower, take a Xanax. Try not to piss yourself.
Because this shit just really irritates me. Like, there are people who work really, really...
No simping in the chat. If you simp in the chat, you got to go on a timeout for a little while. Just until you can control yourself. You got to get yourself under fucking control. It's not that we can't work with you. We can't bring you back into the fold. But there's a simpocalypse which is upon us. And anytime you're simping, you got to take a timeout. So, sorry.
really, 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 really hard. And we don't deserve... Not even we. Men don't deserve to talk about their issues in society, to talk about men's rights, and then have some fucking feminists and be like, oh, men's rights? Oh, you mean this men's rights advocate? The one who thinks that women shouldn't even have the right to vote? Like, you're doing everybody such a fucking disservice, Pearl.
You're fucking doing everybody a fucking disservice, Pearl, by telling them they can't vote. Ugh. You're doing such a... I can't believe you, Pearl. I sent you $300. And you ignored me, Pearl. $300. You ignored me, Pearl. I can't believe it. Unbelievable. These fucking women, dude. Pearl.
And you're a coward. Like, you're a coward. Everybody...
You're a fucking coward. Come on the Crucible and debate me on the topic, Roma. Do that, or you know what would happen? She'd have a fucking heart attack before she got on from her anxiety. She'd... my anxiety is too much. I can't take it. God.
I was overweight and looked terrible, but AIDS helped me lose 46 pounds.
It hurts so bad.
Including myself, was confused as to why you blocked me, why you didn't want to work with me, and it's fucking clear now, because I would pick you down to the fucking bone.
I don't think you would. I think you'd get destroyed quickly. And I'll happily take care of that, just because I think it would be funny. Watch you spurg and lose your mind about women voting, which has led to all of these men's rights issues you're so upset about. Can you imagine that? The foundation of all the problems that she's mad about is due to this foundational issue, and yet...
What's wrong, kid?
I just got bullied for being gay.
Oh, yeah? Well, it's about to happen again.
I love that clip. Love that clip. Just LOL says, what's the argument against homosexuality being accepted in society? I've never heard you make an argument against it specifically. Well, then you haven't watched enough of my debates. As there are fantastic arguments, secular and otherwise.
Anyways, thanks for listening to my rant. You know, it's super rare.
By the way, I appreciate the $5 super chat very much. But I want to move over to her actual criticisms now that she's all done with her anxiety-filled video where she's just fucking bitching about Pearl.
As a men's
Let's see if she actually has criticisms that make sense. Let's find out.
ladies and gentlemen,
Here we go. Listen to her bitch even more about Pearl. Perfect. That's exactly the face that I want to come in on. Perfect.
welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I'm sure, is going to be a controversial one, but one that I really need to make my stance very clear on, and it's my opinion of Pearl Davis, or just Pearly things. Now, often I find when it comes to social media, when one creator criticizes another creator, there's this tendency to do this whole cat fight, bitch fight, pin one against the other. I don't believe that Pearl is a bad person. I think that she has good intentions, and believe it or not, I don't think that the people who follow her and subscribe to her ideologies are bad people either. But one thing I see in the men's rights community specifically is my name, the Tin Men, and Pearl all getting thrown together. And I just really want to make a distinction, because I feel like if we don't, that we are doing harm to some of the more intelligent and reputable voices in the men's rights community.
Okay, yeah, the reputable voices like yours. Yours is a reputable voice. The OnlyFans girl who's upset about the foundation of why you have to have men's rights advocates in the first place, which is due to her men's rights form of advocacy and Pearly things. I can't fucking wait.
It's kind of like how I did this video. Know who you're at.
Is it better to use the Dono chat or become a member? It's actually better to do both. It's better to become a member and use the Dono chat. Happy? And I'm happy if you do both.
Advocates are. Don't call somebody a men's rights advocate if they're really a part of the manosphere. That distinction is incredibly important because the beliefs are incredibly different. I come with purely my opinion, good intentions, and facts. Most people would describe Pearl as a traditional conservative, and I don't see anything wrong with being traditional or conservative. I'm left liberal, but some of my community is right.
Ah, left liberal. That makes sense. She's a left liberal men's rights advocate who just believes in egalitarian equality and the men's rights to vote, the foundational issue which led to having men's advocacy in the first place. I can't restate this enough. I cannot restate for you enough times that you wouldn't need to have men's rights advocacy if you didn't have this foundational problem of the 19th Amendment to begin with.
Right wing, and a lot of them are left wing, and guess what? We all find a middle ground. But the point of this is I want to talk about traditional expectations of genders, because what people don't realize is
there are no fucking genders. There's no genders. They don't exist. It's a social construction. It's completely made up fucking fabrication. There's two sexes and that's
all the
it.
People that have gone out there against the mainstream media and said, you're going to call us racist? You're going to call us potential Timothy McVeighs? Fuck.
Okay, that's it. There's two sexes. It's all that there's ever been. It's all that there's ever going to be. And you have different biological functions which are based upon those
William
roles
Goggins
inside of
just
society.
subscribed.
It's not gender. It's a sex role. Why do you think all the transgenders who are running around all over fucking Twitter are always trying to make sexy skank face all the time? That's what they think of women. That's what they think women are. Sexy skank face.
is that with every gendered expectation, there comes a double-edged sword. And that's why I talk about this a lot of the times in my videos, because with every expectation of a man, there comes a feminist who throws that right back in his face. That's why the men's rights community is not so much about this is how you should act to be a man. It's about saying it doesn't matter what you do or how you choose to live your life. You are still a man and you should not be hated on, discriminated against, or oppressed just because you have a penis. That's why they focus.
This is, by the way, this is feminism. This is third wave feminism. It's still about egalitarianism. This is not anti-feminist in any way, shape, or form. This is the epitome of what feminism is. The claim of egalitarianism between the sexes. We just want men to be brought where women are. It's like, no, that's a perversion to the hierarchical structure that is society. Every society which exists on planet Earth exists within a hierarchical structure. What this is just feminist masked as men's rights advocacy. And you'll see feminists do this all the fucking time. You see them do it constantly. They go, no, 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 no. You men are also the victim of the patriarchy. You men are also victimized by the evil patriarchy. They're there to take your rights away. It's like, no, shut up, you fuck. Shut your fucking mouth. This is just bullshit feminism 2.0.
On this video, and my quarrel with Pearl is really about gendered expectations, because I struggle with the fact that a lot of you refer to her as a men's rights advocate, but the stuff that she says is, in my opinion, the absolute antithesis. Because in the men's rights community, it's not about having expectations of a gender, it's about having expectations of a society. That's what it means to be equal.
See? I fucking knew it. Fucking knew every fucking time. Every fucking time. It's about equality. It's about egalitarianism. It's about us being the same. Interchangeable gender widgets. Fuck you. It's not about any of that. It's about us telling them to shut the fuck up and know what their place is in a hierarchical society. Shut your fucking mouth and know what your place is and what your role is in a hierarchical society. Just like men do. Men understand that. We know where our place is in a hierarchy. We know it quickly. Because if we don't know it, other men beat the shit out of us.
Equality means accepting equal responsibility, not living in a world of double standards, making sure that if it doesn't sound good going both ways, it's probably not very good. From my understanding of the examples that I'm about to show you, these are the expectations that Pearl believes that women should
Just another stupid feminist whining.
abide by in society. They should be quiet, small, elegant, submissive, nurturing, kind, sensitive, and pretty. Which means that she must subscribe to these gendered expectations of men: to provide, to be tough, to be strong, successful, compete, powerful, resilient, to hide emotions, to basically be disposable, and to work hard. Men's rights advocates, we don't encourage those types of ideologies onto every single man.
That's right. They don't. Not the MGTOWers. That's a whole different ballgame, isn't it? Instead, they say there should be no reasonable expectation from society that we actually have to act like men. We'll perpetually be mental midgets. We'll perpetually live in our mom's basements. We'll perpetually be fucking pieces of shit. That's what that kind of promotion is. And so she's saying you don't need to fit into this role of what a man is. Yes, you fucking do need to fit in the role of what a man is. Yes, you do. Or you're not going to have a really good time in life, I promise you.
If you want to be masculine, you want to be all those things, you are all of those things, that should be celebrated. You are an incredible human being just because you are you as an individual. But if we're going to have the expectation that a man must be strong, he must be rich and X, Y, Z, that doesn't leave a lot of space for men who have disabilities. Or what about the man who has worked his entire life and his body starts breaking down, and rather than the government and his employer seeing him as a human being, he's immediately seen as disposable. There's another younger, fitter guy that's there to replace him. A lot of men in their 40s, that's why they commit suicide, because their bodies are breaking down and they worry about being able to financially provide for their families. So if only there was a way that we could teach men that they are worth more than their piggy banks and their ability to be tin men, then maybe.
Oh, great. Yay, you're going to teach men how to be men. You're going to teach men how to be fucking men. Perfect. That's just what we needed. We always needed a woman to teach us how to be fucking men. It's like, what a crock of fucking shit. No, that's not the only reason that this is happening with the suicide rate in middle-aged men. Not even close. Is there one contributing factor? Sure. Of course it is. But men are often go into high-risk jobs because they can make a lot of money early on, and their body does break down. And, of course, it moves over to younger men. Those other men tend to move into other jobs that don't break their bodies down nearly as bad. But, I mean, what's her solution for this? Is her solution that men get a fucking pension immediately at 40? There ain't going to be no solution.
The suicide rate wouldn't be so high. Maybe if we encouraged women to pitch in and help with bills and not put so much responsibility on the men, maybe, again, the suicide rate would be a little bit smaller.
And again, feminist talking point again. You want both of them working? No, we want women to be at home with children, raising the future generation where dad can show as an example how a man is supposed to act. So they have both parents in the home. Both of them are acting in accordance with the male and female role. And so what ends up happening is you get these well-adjusted children who go out into the world and they don't off themselves. Isn't that crazy? They don't. Look at the statistics on that. They actually don't. If they come from an intact family, intact household, their chances of doing that are way less. They have all sorts of other support systems. That's what traditionalism really is about.
In the men's rights community, with all of these expectations to be a man, that means that this comes with it. So feminists throw that right back in men's faces, call them oppressors, privileged, fragile, trash, toxic, abusers. There is simply
Pearl made the post clarifying she didn't block this chick, and the chick deleted it. Oof. So, Little Miss 300 super chat over here, $300 super chat. I sent her a $300 super chat, and I was ignored. She's mad because she was ignored. She wasn't blocked. What a shock. What an absolute fucking surprise, a stunner. Ha! Oof, brutal. Light that chat up, gold with cope. Ariel Suarez has been a member for 8 months. Appreciate that. Ariel says her solutions to create even bigger problems. Fundamentalism of feminism. Totally. Totally. Just fucking bullshit. Blue Juju says lying. Well, this chick, I knew that this chick was lying, though, because how would she send a super chat into a channel she was blocked on? That makes no fucking sense. That literally makes no sense, unless she's sending the super chat from an alternative account. But she didn't clarify that she did that.
no winning. And if this is an ideology that you think Pearl takes a stance against, then why would she turn around and expect all of these things from women? Because women get sign after sign after sign that a guy is bad, they make a child with him, and then leave. And now he has to pay. This is what you pick.
Right. That's a great point, by the way, by Pearl. Saying women get sign after sign after sign that a guy is bad, and yet they want to breed with him anyway. Right? So there's this biological drive that women are actually going to have to fight against. That's what Pearl is saying. It's like that old adage of the nice guys finish last is fucking true. You know what I mean? It's almost like that's true or something.
There really seems to be this ideology in society that, number one, to be an abuser, you have to be physical. Number two, that somehow...
Oh, God, not that. Not the psychological abuse. You're fucking sick of hearing about how everybody's psychologically abused. It's psychological nudity. Psychological abuse. It's game playing. It's the way human beings interact. You know, like everybody's running around nowadays. And I was psychologically molested. I was psychologically abused. My brain got raped.
Well, abusers just say hello to a punch in the face and with their hidden agenda written out for you. In order for an abuser to be a successful abuser, they have to make everything so incredibly good first so that they can trick you into thinking that, yeah, sure, they're abusing me, but look at all these other amazing feelings they give me. And again, double standards. If we can say this to...
Yeah, I died once psychologically. I'm dead inside. Just all this... these women and their bullshit psychology just drives me crazy. That's why all of them are going to be Anytime I talk to any woman online who's like, I'm in my third year of college right now, I always go, for what, psychology? And they, well, yeah, how did you know that? It's like, because all of you are. all of you think that this pseudoscience known as psychology is something that's fucking important. They just run around psychoanalyzing everybody all day long. You know what I mean? This is very traditional of narcissistic personality disorder coupled with and it's just all bullshit. You know what I mean? It's all fucking bullshit. I had to tell one the other night I was arguing with in a Discord. I was like, you know that there's no actual such thing as a clinical psychopath. And she goes, yes, there is. She had to look it up in her book and found out that there wasn't. Like, they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. You know? They don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. They just run around all day psychoanalyzing everybody. Why? Because bitches love drama. That's why. They do it because they love fucking drama. And so they're trying to, like, make predictive models. Little predictive models for how they can, like, fucking gonna do, you know what I mean? Due to her advanced sociopathic behavior and psychological damage that was done to her when she was a child. My expectation is that she's just like, just shut up with all that's just bullshit. It's all bullshit.
To a woman, then why can we not turn around and say this to a man, as many women do? I don't understand how all these women were abused and don't have any permanent damage. The average dude can literally kill you with his bare hands. Like, this is just...
True. It's just objectively true. You can see, even in her own video, she edits it. But even then, you can see her brain is melting by this tweet.
The average dude can literally kill you
Watch
with
the brain
his bare
melt.
hands. Like,
Right here.
This is
just the NPC programming is beginning. It's beginning to melt inside of her own brain. She edits in when the NPC programming begins to go haywire.
kind of scary. No, it's about whether or not he would morally be capable of taking another life, especially that of a woman, which I can assure you most men are not capable of doing, because...
What the fuck are you telling? Yes, they are capable of doing it. I don't know if she knows this or not, but what they generally do is find young men right around the ages of 17 to 23, and they put them in a military force where they give them guns and send them to other countries where they fucking kill people. That's what they do. Just a helpful reminder that most of the video games that men consume are, you guessed it, of them killing people in the video game. Not kidding. It's not a joke. They really, really, really like the genre. Men are attracted to violence. They enjoy violence. They love boxing. They love boxing. They love hockey. Okay? They love UFC. They love violence. It's like overwhelmingly, they adore it. They just fucking adore it. So I don't know where you get this idea that they're not capable of it. Of course they're capable of it. They don't do it because, as Pearl's tweet rightly points out, they're benevolent towards women. A lot more benevolent towards women than women are towards men.
Most men are not inherent monsters. When we paint the word abuse with this color of physical violence, we completely ignore.
Yeah, Austin says, I'm literally playing Far Cry 5 right now, killing it up. Yes, I know. I know. LRN says, I love people getting their face kicked in. Yes, I'm aware of all of this. Why? Well, because since I was a little kid, I've been playing ultra fucking violent video games. And as the graphics increased, and I could see more detail, like, oh, look at that little tiny piece of fucking brain sprayed all over the wall. I'm going to do that again 1,800 times until I get sick of it. Because we just love that shit, okay? We love that shit. I don't know what to tell you. I like walking around in Grand Theft Auto and throwing hand grenades into huge piles of civilians just to watch them get torn to pieces because I think it's fucking hilarious. And you know what? Here's the dirty secret. So does that guy over there, and that guy over there, and that dude over there, and that dude over there. And you know what we do? We send each other videos of it. Send each other videos of it. Look what I just did, bro. And then they respond with, LOL. Ha! You blew that whore to pieces. It's just like, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. We love that shit. Love it.
Ignore things like financial abuse, psychological abuse, things that Pearl talks about. We live in a culture where it's accepted.
Mr. E says, yeah, I also kill pedestrians in GTA 5. Who doesn't? Who doesn't do that? We love that shit. Okay? We love that shit. I used to go watch the Mel Gibson had 2 movies that came out pretty close to one another. It was Braveheart and The Patriot, right? And in The Patriot, the scenes at the time were like nothing I had really seen in warfare special effects, basically except maybe Saving Private Ryan, where like the cannonball goes and just takes the whole head off the dude. You know what I mean? The cannonball goes and just takes the entire leg off. And the dude's like holding his own leg and screaming and shit. And you're just sitting there like, yeah, kill that. You know what I mean? That's how it is. It's how it is. Okay? I'm sorry. It's how it is.
Acceptable to belittle your husband in public and refer to him as a child. Something we can agree on, absolutely. And do you know what this is called? This is called emotional, psychological, and verbal abuse. If you didn't make a police report...
No, it's called that guy's a fucking simp. That's what it's called. It's called he's being a fucking simp and a wuss, and he won't stand up to the bitch. He just won't stand up to the bitch. You know what I mean? I don't know. There's a, like I said, there's a simpocalypse upon us. Like, men have never had to put up with any of this shit. They just do. And they shouldn't.
I don't believe you. Or again, her talk of physical damage. Why should we believe women who don't have any physical damage but claim abuse? Okay, well, don't we say the exact same thing to men? The ones who are 6'2", 250 pounds pure muscle, and their 5'0" 100 pounds soaking wet girlfriend wails on them, throws things at them, comes at them with knives. Do you see where the problem is here? If you wouldn't say this to men, but you would only say it to women, that is an inherent bias. You wanted to make a child with a bad boy, you made your bed. Deal with the consequences.
Yes, that's right. That's fucking right. You wanted that for yourself. You have it. Now you get to deal with the consequences, and you don't get to have society prop you up because of your bad choices. Women are the gatekeepers for breeding. They are the gatekeepers for who gets pregnant. That's women are the gatekeepers for that. So if they breed with the wrong person, they have to deal with the consequences of doing that without society bailing them the fuck out. Again, why would you have any of all the tweets that this chick could have picked to try to rip on Pearl? These are some of the best ones Pearl's ever made, in my opinion. Frankie D says, ever since Pearl took flack for having Nick on, stood her ground, and wouldn't denounce him, I realized she had integrity. I hope she stays traditional. Well, I'm not a fan of Fuentes myself, but I don't think that the guy shouldn't be allowed to say his piece. I think he should, even though he would mass report my channel in 15 seconds if I was mean to him and called him small.
Men, you decided to make a baby with a vindictive woman. You knew what you were getting yourself into. And if it does not sound good going both ways, it's not good, because equality is about accepting equal responsibility. He says instead of getting divorced, you should learn to stop.
That's why we don't want fucking equality. The capability...
Shut up.
Dude.
You shut up. That's why your power level is pathetic.
That's why your family's dead.
It's so ridiculous. Again, it's just more egalitarianism, more equality, more equality, more equality. It's garbage. It's garbage. It's no wonder if all you have representing the men's rights movement are feminist egalitarians. Why in the world wouldn't you see somebody like Pearl skyrocket up in the market?
Stop arguing with your husband. Does this not sound like happy wife, happy life? This is the exact rhetoric that's placed against husbands that encourages them to stay in unhappy, abusive relationships and encourages disgusting terminology like, you should ask your wife. Pearl, I don't know if you realize, but most men do not want a submissive woman who's going to allow him to cheat and not argue with him.
Let's back that up, shall we?
I don't know if you realize, but most men do not want a submissive...
How do you write women so well?
I think of a man, and I take away reason and accountability.
Frankie D says, for $5, I heard you not liking Fuentes. What's behind that story? Did you do an extravaganza episode on that? Yeah, a long time ago. It's not something that we're